So maybe you've tried to calm yourself down and then it doesn't last. Like it works for a moment and then something small happens, a thought, something shifts or you hear something and then you're right back in it again. And that's not because you're bad at calming down. It's because calm isn't something that you find, but we've been taught to believe that. So you can just step away for a minute and breathe, and then you tell yourself you're okay, and then you try to settle. And for just a second, it feels like, oh, that's working. And then you're right back in it again, right? After your body settles a little bit, your thoughts slow down, but then zoop, something comes back into your awareness, a conversation, something you need to do, something you're not sure about. And then just like that, all that calm's gone. And your service and your system is active again, right? You're alert, you're aware, maybe your muscles are tight and you're trying to get back to that calm feeling that you just had a minute ago. So you try again. Okay, different thought, different approach, and maybe you go and just distract yourself, but underneath that, you can feel that you're trying to like chase something that you can't quite hold on to. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Hi, I'm Leeza Steindorf. I work with people who are really done trying to manage themselves into feeling okay, into calm, and they want to come back to something that's real. They want to just come back to the sense of well-being. And if that's you, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Then you'll know when new clips come out, because this series builds on itself. And these are the things that we talk about. So back to being calm, the problem isn't that you can't stay calm. It's that you've been taught to relate to calm or ease or whatever you want to call it, like something that you have to create and then keep it, like it's a product or it's a result. But that's not how calm and ease work, right? Because calm isn't something that you produce. It's actually what's always there when you're not pulled away from yourself. So I want you to think about that for a minute. I'm going to say it again. That ease and that state of calm and stability that you may be looking for by trying to do things, or you're trying to get that state, it's always there. We are pulled away from it. We pull ourselves away from it. We move away from it, which is really good news, because then it's merely a matter of returning. So when you lose that sense of calm, it's not because it's disappeared. It's because your attention has simply shifted. It's gone elsewhere. Yeah? It's gone to what something means, what might happen, something you need to figure out. And then once you're with that, you're no longer here. It's really that simple. I'm not trying to oversimplify it, because it may be simple, but it's a practice. Yeah? So now then you're trying to calm yourself from a place that isn't grounded, right? Because you're out there with all these things. And that's why it keeps slipping. And it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're trying to access something from a place where it doesn't exist, right? When you leave this sense of being, when you leave this calm and this ease, this groundedness in yourself, and you go out into all these thoughts over there, and then in those places out there with the speed and the multitude of thoughts and the different stimulations and you're all busy out there, you can't access the peace and the calm there, because it doesn't live there. It lives here. And so that returning back to self, to the center, that's why it's powerful. So instead of trying to be calm, just come back. It's not a technique, and you don't have to go anywhere or get anywhere. It really is a matter of noticing. And I want to encourage you to be kind to yourself. Like nobody's learned this. Well, I can't say nobody. Few people have learned this from childhood onward, right? We're taught to think and do and move and go, and right? In this colonized world, that's what we're taught. But what we're talking about here is the ground of who you are that never changed. It's always been here. Where are you right now? Just as you're listening to this, can you feel your body? What's your breath doing? Feel or look at the space around you. Yeah? Not to change anything. You don't have to do anything. but to notice, to let your awareness, your attention to land on things that are real, even if it's just for a moment. That's really powerful. I'm sure you've heard of mindfulness. That's a mindfulness practice. And it's interesting because it's not a doing. It's actually a not doing, which a lot of people try to make into a doing. So it's really just being and noticing. And I've often spoken of POP. Pause, observe, proceed. So I'm talking about the observation part. You take a pause and then you observe and you witness. And you just be. And when you return like that, with that kind of ease and without an urgency, without an agenda, yeah, something shifts on its own. You don't suddenly feel perfect and like you've got it all together, but you're not chasing anything anymore. There's a calm that comes, and your body settles slightly, and your thoughts lose that urgency. They can slow down, and you don't feel pulled elsewhere. You don't follow that urge to fix something or figure something out right away, right? There's space. And from that space, you can choose what you want to do. You may want to think about something, you might want to respond to something, and you might want to do none of those and simply be, right? But whatever happens next comes from that place of calm, somewhere that's steady inside of yourself. And not from trying to get back to calm, but from already being there. Yeah? So if this feels like, if you feel like, so it feels like calm keeps disappearing, it's not because you don't have it. It's because you're looking for it in the moment outside of yourself when you've left yourself. And it's not out there, right? And the shift isn't to find it again. It's to simply return back to who you are. And a lot of folks, when they hear this kind of approach to being, to walking through the world, this choice of how to be, like, oh, I wish I just had all the time in the world. It's interesting because the people who are most effective have this ability. They can be in a place of calm and centeredness because that's where they make the best decisions. Because that's where they have the space and the access to creativity, to think, to generate ideas, to formulate plans, is from this place. Not from a very busy, fast, external rat race, but from just right here. And then you have all of your faculties available to you. Yeah? Try it out. Leave some comments in the comment section below. And if this kind of landing speaks to you, then stay with the series. Subscribe, then you'll know when new clips come out. Because we're not in any way trying to control how you feel or tell you how to feel. We're actually learning to come back to the place within ourselves where you don't have to control anything, where you can just be. And from that place, launch into anything that you want to do in the world. Super powerful, super creative, and a lot more fun. Okay? All right. So if this was useful, go ahead, subscribe, like the video, share it with someone who you might, who you think might also enjoy it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, be well.